Joining us right now is the presidential candidate and governor of the great state of Texas, Rick Perry, who I believe joins us from Nashua, New Hampshire. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day up here in New Hampshire.
Beautiful, indeed. I'm looking at the cover of Drudge Report right now, Governor. It says, and then there were two. And there's just a picture of Newt, and there's a picture of Mitt. And you're nowhere to be found. Has the media tried to focus this down to a two-man race when, in fact, there's still a whole bunch of people out there in contention?
I don't know. The media doesn't have a vote. The people of New Hampshire and Iowa and South Carolina and Florida are the ones that have a vote, and that's the reason I'm up here. So our campaign is moving right ahead forward. We're talking to people. Let me tell you, here's what people are upset about. They're upset about $7.7 trillion of secret loans that went to Wall Street financiers. They know that there is a line drawn in the sand in this country right now, and that line goes from Washington, D.C. to Wall Street, and they are not happy campers about it. Americans are ready for an outsider that will come in and overhaul Washington, D.C. And both of those guys at the top of that list are what you would call insiders, substantial insiders in Wall Street and Washington, D.C. So Americans haven't decided yet at all who they want to lead the Republican nomination. And we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about it in harsh and strong terms over the course of the next 4 to 5 weeks as we get ready for those New Hampshire caucuses.
Now, Governor, you just mentioned that these secret loans, these federal loans, they dwarf TARP. To be honest, and how much money was given out without telling us. And I'm wondering, does that mean you see eye to eye with the Occupy movement?
Well, here's what I don't agree that you go break the law. I don't think you break the law whether it's occupying a piece of property that you're told to leave, or break the law with fraudulent intent if you're a Wall Street banker. I'm about law and order. That's one of the reasons that Sheriff Arpaio came in yesterday and endorsed me, because he understands that I have run an ethical, a hard-charging, border security, immigration-strong state. And that's the type of individual that Americans are looking for to lead this country, is a real leader, not someone who can just get up and maybe make a slick speech, someone who knows how to weave their way through the Wall Street to Washington way to make a ton of money, and then the taxpayers end up having to foot the bill. They're looking for an ethical, moral, strong leader. And that's exactly what I've done over the last 10 years as the governor of the state of Texas.
One of your other competitors, Herman Cain, has come under fire, as we all know, about a lot of these women problems. And yesterday he said that he was going to reassess his campaign, and then he sort of took a step back from that, saying that he wasn't really quitting. But if, in fact, he does get out of the race, an interesting poll shows that 37% of the people would go to Gingrich, 14% to Bachmann, 13% to Romney, and 12% to you. Will that be a huge boost to your campaign if Herman Cain does drop out?
Well, here's the issue. If you know, he needs to address these allegations, you know, that's the bottom line. He needs to address the allegations, and if they're true, then he has to address with his family and the people of this country. So, you know, how it all breaks out, I think that's just someone's speculation. Again, I think this goes back to Americans are sick and tired of Washington, D.C. Wasting their money, putting this country in jeopardy of being bankrupt, seeing the downgrades of the rating companies, and it's Wall Street and Washington where the problem is.
But I just got to say, Governor, that leads to the wondering if you agree with John Huntsman then that Herman Cain's hurting the party by staying in the race with all these distractions instead of staying on the issues that you prefer to talk about.
Well, again, I go back to he's got to address these issues straight up. And again, if these allegations are correct, he has an obligation to his family and to the American people.
Well, he has addressed them as far as saying that he says they're not true, and he called her a troubled woman, the latest one. Let me move on to something else, because yesterday you've gotten a lot of attention for making what some people are calling another gaffe, and I want you to just listen to it, and then we'll have you respond.
Those of you that are sitting in this hall who are going to inherit this country are counting on us. Those of you that will be 21 by November the 12th, I ask for your support and your vote. Those of you who won't be, just work hard.
So obviously the voting age is 18, and the election,
18.
you know, the election date, I understand that. I mean, the fact that you could even pull out the number 12, hats off to you. But what do you make about the fact that you got the voting age wrong?
Look, from time to time, we all will get something wrong. The President of the United States said there was 57 states one day, so and I'm sure he faded plenty of heat for a while. But here's how I look at these issues. Generally speaking, over the course of my 10-plus years of being the governor of the state of Texas, when someone doesn't want to talk about the substantive issues, when they don't want to talk about the flat tax that I've laid out, when they don't want to talk about major overhaul of Washington, D.C., like going to a part-time Congress, which most of the states operate very well with, they want to find some little error that you made and go talk about that. So I'm going to talk to the American people about the issues that are really important. They know, look, I'm a human being. I'm going to make some mistakes from time to time in my remarks. If they want a robot, as Sheriff Joe said yesterday, go to Japan and buy one. We're all human. We're going to make mistakes.
It happens.
But if you are going to buy a robot, buy American.
Surely, why not? Hey, Governor, one of the issues that is very important to a border governor like yourself is immigration. And Newt Gingrich has taken some heat since your last debate, where people have said, hey, look, he's suggesting amnesty with his, he suggested with these essentially modeled after World War II selective service community boards, look at somebody who's been in the country for 25 years and figure out whether or not they could get a path to legality of some way. Does that sound like amnesty to you?
Well, I'm not for amnesty in any form or fashion, and there's a lot of ideas out there about how you deal with the issue of immigration reform, but they're all just intellectual banter until we secure the border. One of the reasons that Sheriff Joe came to New Hampshire and endorsed me for the presidency was because he knows that I've been dealing with this issue for the last 10 years. And until we secure the border with the strategic fencing, with the substantial number of boots on the ground, the aviation assets that will give real-time information down to the law enforcement fast response teams on the ground, none of this really matters. If you don't secure the border, having immigration policy is nothing more than an intellectual exercise. Well, you've got to support and secure that border.
Right. Well, Governor, I think all the candidates say that the number one thing is to secure the border. But then what? You know, some estimates are we've got 10, 11, 12, maybe 20 million illegals in the country. Then what do you do with those people who have been here, for instance, in Newt's
I want to go back.
I
want to go back to this issue of securing the border, though. There are a lot of people that talk about it. You're absolutely correct. But there's only one person on that stage that's actually dealing with it and has for the last 10 years, and that's myself.
Right, but, Governor, how do you deal with it?
And talking about it.
Pardon me, how do you deal with the people who are here once you secure the border?
That is a conversation and a great debate that we can have. A lot of different ideas out there. But I want to listen to the American people. I'm not going to just pitch out an idea and say, here's where we're going to go with this. Here's how we're going to do it. I think this is one of those issues that if you don't spend a lot of time discussing with the American people how they want to deal with these, you're going to be in trouble. So my approach to this is to have an appropriate conversation, appropriate debate with the members of Congress, and put immigration policy in place that the American people are going to support. Not something that some think tank comes up with or somebody pulls out of a poll somewhere. This is a very important issue that can really create a great chasm in this country if we don't get it right.
And it's one that has been debated for decades and never yet solved. Always great to speak with you, Governor Rick Perry. Enjoy your day in New Hampshire. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you. It's good to be with you all. So long.
All right. Good luck the rest of the day. Meanwhile, can you imagine